Daniel Dick. I'm a personal trainer for Gold's Gym. Also have my own brand, Animal Fitness. So I like to help people get from point A to B and get them healthy and have fun doing it.
What got you started?
Well, I used to be fat. My dad used to make me run from telephone pole to telephone pole, and then I'd walk in between because I was too chubby. So I grew up in a wrestling family, so working out was always a part of it, but health wasn't. So I knew how to grind, I knew how to work hard, but I didn't take it seriously until I became an adult, and I realized that most problems we have, health-related, are our own fault, and there's a lot that we can do about them. So
you were encouraged to work out. You were encouraged to, like you said, run telephone pole to telephone pole, thanks to your family. And you did have that fitness background through your family. But I take it dietary was an issue?
Dietary, proper thinking, all that. Like, I used to weigh 300 pounds.
Really?
Close to, yeah. And then I say the biggest change that I made going from 300 pounds to just over 200 was mental. I was 300 pounds. I was depressed. Wasn't happy. I didn't like myself. I just decided I was going to change it. And, yeah, then it turned into a career. So that's good.
Yeah, no kidding. I was never that big, but for my frame, I was definitely much bigger and much huskier at a younger age. I know my biggest triggers, and I also know that I have a really hard time saying no to butter tarts.
Yeah. Me too. My mom makes the best.
On that sort of path, how far back can you think where suddenly your train of thought and your mindset of eating healthier and just being healthier in general started to stick, where things started to finally make sense?
Well, it's an association of emotion, right? So for the longest time, it was just, and I got really lean doing it, and I felt really good doing it. It was just to look good. And then I associate fear with it, a fear to not being healthy because I got kids now, I got a wife and all that. So it's like, I'm creating a paradigm of health for them, and they're going to model whatever I do. And if I don't model it to the best of my ability, I could be giving them information and habits that are going to harm them, literally going to harm them. Like families growing up eating tons of high fructose corn syrups, and you're developing type 2 diabetes. Like they say it's hereditary, but usually people in your environment because you're living the same lifestyle, right?
Right.
So really switching it that way, it's made it effortless because I don't have to fight myself with it. It feels good because I know I'm not doing it for vanity's sake. It's a lot bigger than that.
You're doing it for family and health's sake.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
totally.
Because I know for a fact that kids, they are just nothing but bundles of energy. Yeah. So being able to keep up with them.
That's it. And give them more sugar, no thanks.
What do you specialize in when it comes to fitness and helping people move forward in their journey?
I think it's just getting inside people's heads. I have a very good sense of reading people, feeling their energy, and just kind of telling them what they need to hear, and maybe stuff that they're suppressing. I could just bring it out and in a way that's really gentle, and being able to relate, being able to empathize, all that, and just getting them to see that they can get to point B and showing them that it's going to be better and creating hunger for it. Right? It's repetition, right? So that's how you build a paradigm, is it would just create it over time through constantly saying something, but doing it gently, right? It's like, how'd you learn your name, right? You weren't just called JT one time. It's a bunch of times you start to recognize
Wait, that's me.
Yeah. But it's the same thing. You tell someone you're going to be in really good shape, and the first time, like, oh, no, but you keep saying it, and then eventually it's like, wait, I've taken this on myself, and now it's a part of who I am. So,
amongst your clientele, do you find that there are different challenges all the time with people? Be it either physical, emotional, mental? Yeah,
half my job is just I'm counseling people, really. I'm hearing their good days, I'm hearing their bad days, I'm knowing their struggles, I'm knowing the relationships, I'm knowing everything because they pour it on you. So just being able to be there and if someone's feeding you negative energy, being able to turn it back and turn it into something positive, and just, you kind of have to be a rock for people. And they're mostly paying for your time, right? Like, in my experience, the workouts are important. You have to know what you're doing, but you have to know people better. And that's how you get busy.
What's more important in your opinion? Small goals or large goals?
I think the large goal, like if the big goal is just to go to the gym, right? Instead of making all these little goals, like I got to meal prep, I've got to get my shoes ready, I got to get my gym bag ready. It's like, no, just go to the gym. Like, make it super simple, and then the rest kind of falls into place.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna drive to Vancouver, but I don't need to worry about all these little things until I make the decision.
Right.
And what I'm going to do. And then the little ones will just fall into place.
I can actually concur with that. My own experience, when I started to really start workout again over the past couple of years, I found that the goal of, like you just brought out, just go to the gym, because sometimes going to the gym is the most difficult part.
Exactly.
But going to the gym was the biggest goal at times. And then other things had to fall into place naturally because of it. I couldn't eat junk food and then go to the gym because I'd be out of gas by the time I got halfway through my workout. I learned that the hard way a couple of times. I figured I'll just have Chinese food leftovers for lunch and then I'll hit the gym afterward. Nope.
Yeah.
Get halfway through my workout. That was a bad idea. I have no energy and I'm halfway done.
Like, what do you drive?
What do you mean? What do I drive?
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a 2003 Ford Taurus.
Okay, so as soon as you bought that car, wherever you got it, you started to notice every car that was similar to it in any way, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh, that's my car. No, there's a part of your brain that filters information.
Right.
So it's the same part of your brain that's accessed when you pick a big goal, right? Anything that relates to it is just going to... That's why I say pick the big goal and you just kind of filter information. Everything falls into place.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the power of writing goals too, right? There's some magic to that. 100%.
Have any of your clients ever surprised you?
Yeah. I got a lot of really awesome clients. Got one client who's lost over 100 pounds, tripled his strength. I've got other clients who've bounced back from illness and serious illness, life-threatening illness, and come out on top stronger than they were before. Mental illness, like, yeah, you name it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's awesome.
What is the biggest misconception you always have to debunk?
Overthinking it, and then just getting to the gym. Like, people think it's so complicated, but just get moving. Like, find what you enjoy and just do it and get better at it. Like, really. I like wrestling with my brother, and I like training and just grappling in general. So I could overthink it. I could go on YouTube and watch all these, world-class competitors, and you just kind of just defeat yourself if you do that. But if you just enjoy what you're doing, and again, it'll just fall into place. Like, you'll pick up the pieces as you go.
Yeah, and like I get that. I get that sentiment of sometimes, like, you're seeing someone online like, oh, they're so far ahead of me, and like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get there. But if you let that hold on, and if you let that just consume you, then you're just gonna defeat yourself.
Yeah, the biggest thing is recognizing that it's you versus you. You don't have the same genetics as me, right? I don't have the same genetics as you. You might be better at something than I am, but it's different. It's you versus you. So that's helped me a lot too, just to make it a lifestyle, right? Because the hardest thing is to keep committed even when you're around it all the time, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
when you're on your free time, you just want to do your own thing. But this is like, I live it now, right? So
Yeah, it has. You have to incorporate it and just make it a part of your life instead of just an addition to your life. It becomes your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll fall asleep studying this stuff now, so it's a good thing, I guess.
Now, if people want to know more information and seek out your professional help and advice, where can they go?
Find me on Facebook, Danimal Fitness. It's like Dan, DANIMAL Fitness. Or you could just find me at Gold's Gym anytime. Grab a card, tell me you want to train with me. We'll have fun.
I wanted to bring up this too, is that your name is synonymous down at Gold's Gym, because you're not the only family member down at Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
How many other people in your family are down there?
I hope all of them eventually, but right now, my sister-in-law Jamie, my brother Ben, just them right now. My wife wants to get into the training too. I think she'd be really good at it. I keep bugging her. My sisters showed interest too, and I'm just trying to get my parents to come and work out. So
That'd be so cool.
yeah,
That'd be so awesome. Well, thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thank you.
My name is Kendall Kershaw, and I guess I'd consider myself a weight loss and wellness facilitator.
Now, congratulations on the performances that you've done lately. You were in Toronto and Vancouver recently, right?
Yes, indeed
Yes.
I was.
And what were the results of those two shows?
Well, Toronto was, they were both phenomenal experiences, but Toronto was a little bit mind-blowing. I actually came home with a third placing, which is pretty impressive. I was very happy with myself because I did coach myself, so I don't want to sound too braggy or anything, but I was pretty happy with that for sure. And then in Vancouver, I got fourth place, which was fantastic. The girl who ended up winning the entire show was just amazing. So that was really cool to get to be a part of that and just be on stage with such amazing physiques.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is all to get your pro card.
Yes.
Yes. What does that mean?
So to get my pro card would mean that I would be a professional athlete, which would be pretty cool because I've always kind of said I didn't want to do, the 9-to-5 thing, and I've struck gold with Little Fit, but to be able to be a professional athlete as well as doing Little Fit on the side and more or less having that as a passion more than a career would be really cool. And getting my pro card really would just be kind of an achievement. I'm one of those people, I really like to take the next step. I don't like staying stagnant, so it would be the next level.
The goal is to become a professional athlete. Is there still a plan? Because last time we talked, there was a talk about the fact that you were going to go from one category to another category. You were in the bikini category?
Yep.
Yes, but you're moving forward.
So I actually have decided to stay in bikini.
Okay.
Because although I have the utmost respect for the women who do participate in figure, it's a much more muscular category. And where I'm at in bikini, because I'm still getting my high placings, although they tell me I'm too muscular, obviously they're not hating on it too much. So I think until I stop getting better placings, I'll stay in bikini because, again, as a natural athlete, it would take a lot of years to be able to put the size on that a lot of those women have put on, whether it was because they've taken a decade to put it on or they've taken a decade and maybe also had some anabolic support. I'm not sure. But just because I know that I'm not willing to go past my comfort zone in certain areas for the sport.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and this is only from an outsider's point of view, but it seems as though the attitude and support within the community, within the competition community, is a lot stronger than the attitude and support that you get with outside of the community. In fact, you get more backlash and more backbiting when people just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate, I would
Really?
say. Like, for instance, when people hear about some of the things we'll do for peak week, for instance, like the water restriction and stuff like that, while I don't take it to the extremes that a lot of people do, just because, again, I'm all about the wellness side of bodybuilding, or creating a wellness side, I guess I should say.
Right.
What I get a lot, in fact, I was out with friends last night who aren't into fitness, and they kept saying, like, the more I hear about this, the blah, 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 the less worth it seems. But the thing is I think that people who do compete, and a lot of people, that's not to say that everybody outside of that community, because I do have some great support systems outside as well.
Right.
But I find that people who have competed kind of understand that little bit of insanity that comes along with just having that absolute love of the sport.
You have to be a little bit crazy to have a dream.
I think maybe, right? Dream's just like a hallucination, right? Yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion on the dramatic change or even the progression of change when you have someone, not unlike myself, who, like, at one point in time, I was very overweight, and now I'm kind of in a transition, and I'm working towards getting better and happier with my physical appearance, but also more confident with just my endurance and my strength and whatnot. And through your advice, not focusing on the numbers on the scale, like your personal opinion as to the people's frustration when they don't see results as fast as they want to.
So my advice for that would be that, well, I was there. I was, at the time, 17. I was trying to graduate. I was trying to do the prom thing. I was also trying to prep for my first bodybuilding competition, and it was like trying to ski uphill. Everything just seemed impossible and hard, and every workout just felt awkward, and I felt weak, and that sucked, and I definitely didn't enjoy that, so I didn't want to go to the gym. But what I kind of told myself, and this would be my advice, is the period of time is going to pass no matter what. And the thing is that if you work your ass off and you're exhausted at the end of the day, all you have to do is sleep on it, and then you're not exhausted anymore. So it's really worth it just to push through, because you get to decide that, like I said, that time's going to pass. Now, when you get to that finish line, are you going to be a better version of yourself, or are you going to be stagnant? And that's something I really like to kind of talk to people about, because, like I said, I've been in that place where it was really, really hard I just felt incapable, really, but to be where I'm at now and show people, like, hey, it actually doesn't take that long. Just give it a few months and you're gonna see the results.
I can sort of relate to something like that. I've told the story before. I don't know if I've told you the story before, but I did my whole 100 days, right? And for some reason, I had it in my mind that once I hit the 100th day of fitness, 100th day of a healthy living, that there would be this giant fanfare and celebration, and things would be different. And when I got to that 100th day, I found myself sitting on a bench inside the gym that I'd visited for over 3 months by myself in an empty gym, exhausted but happy, but there was no balloons, there was no fanfare, there was no sparkles or fireworks or anything like that. It was just I had completed another workout. I was healthier and felt better, and my clothes fit a heck of a lot better, but nothing had really changed other than my lifestyle. And I was kind of taken back, and I was almost brought to myself to tears over it, because what once I thought was a giant struggle was just now a day-to-day routine. So yeah, I do know that, just from personal experience, that dramatic change, healthy change is not something that happens overnight.
Exactly. And with that, and then that's where it's kind of like focus on how do you feel after a workout? Because you'll feel a difference after your first workout. That first time you get that release of the serotonin is going to and your happy hormones just start revving, you're going to feel better. So if you start focusing on that, that's instant gratification. And then, like you said, those big dramatic changes are going to take more time, but you have other stuff that you can kind of appease yourself with until that comes. For your case, when you were saying there was no trumpets at the end of the journey,
the marching band was late.
No, they're late, but they're coming. They're getting here as fast as they can.
Yes.
They're also maybe for me one day also. I don't know. But I think the reason for that is because, like you said, it's a lifestyle, and this journey doesn't ever end. I remember thinking, I'm going to be happy the first time, I'll be done when I win my overall. When I win first in overall, I'll be happy. I'll be accomplished. And then, of course, that happened. I'm like, I wonder if I could become a pro. And then, of course, that's been the trail I've been on. But
right.
I do think that I don't ever think you will kind of give yourself trumpets, because by the time you got to that 100th day, what was your goal is now your
accomplishment.
It's your accomplishment. It's your level. It's where you're at. So now you have to set a new goal to rise yourself higher. And it's kind of one of those things that is almost daunting. Like, it's such an ongoing task. But at the same time, it's worth it. And I think that when it comes down to it, it is going to be, for instance, I'll be doing this till the day I go if I have it my way. And I wouldn't change that for the world, because, like I said, it's the release of the hormones, it's the strength, the endurance, everything you were saying. I mean, I'm okay with the abs fleeing quite quickly after the competition, because I know I'm getting stronger. And it's those kinds of things that make it worth it.
Again, your opinion. What is more important when you're setting goals, or you have a fitness in mind? What is more important, large goals or small goals?
Small goals.
Small goals.
So large goals, small habits.
Okay.
So I always kind of tell people all of this, and I'm going to say fitness, and I'm going to include mental fitness in this as well, mental stamina, because it's all when you have your big goal, like let's say, for instance, you want to lose 100 pounds, then you're not going to lose 100 pounds by just deciding you're going to lose 100 pounds. You have to have that goal. You have to have that number in your head.
Yeah.
But it's waking up and deciding to drink a liter of water as soon as you wake up before your coffee. It's waking up and deciding that you're going to put maybe a little bit of garlic in your day. Like little things like that. And that's what's going to make you lose 100 pounds. If that kind of makes sense, if that kind of answers the question. I think that they're both kind of equally important just in their own rights.
To have the goal of climbing the mountain is great.
Yeah.
But to set the goal of taking that first step is more important.
And then the next step, and then the next step, and then when you're halfway up, doing another step after that. That's I think that's the important part.
Yeah. What's the best way to have someone, I guess, be accountable to themselves, or just be accountable for themselves if they have this challenge in mind that they want to be healthier?
I think people should journal. I think that's a really big thing. And again, even talking about mental fitness, I think that's also important so that you can monitor your progress. So for instance, I think that food journaling is very important. I think that it's important to write down what you've eaten so that you can remain accountable, because it doesn't feel good when you go, I ate a whole cheesecake. You have to write that down.
Yeah.
Like just stupid. Yeah. Like I had 2 6-packs of beer.
I watched the entire 4th season of Gilmore Girls.
While drinking 2 6-packs of beer.
Exactly.
I think that journaling is really important. I think that it's important to be gentle with yourself. Let's say you have a bad day and you're right in the middle of 10 good days. Don't beat yourself up for one bad day, because we're humans and everything works in cycles. So sometimes you're going to feel good and sometimes you're not going to feel good.
Right.
So as soon as you start to kind of beat yourself down, you're going to start feeling less and less encouraged to go and reach for your goals.
Where can they find you on either online, social media, or where is your office located? How can people contact you if they are interested in getting your help for a better, healthier life?
Okay, so if you are looking into whether it's having a plan customized to your numbers to you so that you can have results that suit you, I can't stress that enough, or I do posing clients, I do youth workshops, things like that. So if anybody wants to get a hold of me, you can reach me on Instagram. It's at Kendall_Kershaw. My Facebook is just Kendall Kershaw. TheLittleFitCo.com.
The Little Fit Co.
The Little Fit Co. Yeah.
And how'd you come up with that name?
It's actually a funny story. When I was a kid, I used to throw, and when I say kid, I mean like an infant, a baby.
Gotcha.
I used to throw tons and tons of temper tantrums, and that lasted up until I was a toddler. So one time, my facetious older brother, my dad used to call me Little Bit, and then I was having a temper tantrum. So my brother came up and just said, "Little Bit," more like Little Fit. I was throwing a fit. And since the time that I was about 3, I've been Little Fit, 3 or 4. And then when I got into fitness, it just it became a joke, and then it became the real thing.
That is totally not where I thought that story was going to go.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's because I'm a bit of a spaz, that's all.
Thank you so much for coming in and spending some time and answering a few questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me in. Again, it's always a blast to be able to come in and do this.